do the obligatory clap. We all ready?
3, 2, 1. How about we do a singular clap instead of
I tried,
3
Eric.
fucked claps?
You know what, Mr. Why don't you do it?
I'm not talking to you, buddy.
No, thank you.
Is that better?
Was there a fly in here or something?
Yeah.
Oh, wait, I got a good idea. Hold on.
What's up?
Hold on. I got better than a clap.
Better than a clap?
Are you going to piss?
Yes.
We lost
Hang
Eric.
on.
It's only
Yeah.
episode 2 and we lost Eric.
Wow.
He's gone.
He quit on us. Good riddance.
Wow.
All right.
What did you do?
Did you put
Excuse me while I whip this out.
Oh, wow.
We got a gavel, like I mentioned last
we
time.
do have a gavel.
Order.
Why don't you gavel?
Uh-huh.
Gavel the anvil.
Okay,
gavel the anvil?
so I'm hitting the table, I assume.
No, the anvil.
Hit the
Oh,
anvil
the
so we can
anvil,
see
okay.
it.
Okay, hang on.
Just like the grind video.
There we go.
There we go. It's official.
It's official. Now,
Yeah! Woo!
we made it all the way to episode 2. Can I get an amen?
Amen.
Whoa, yeah! So, as Arthur mentioned, we would like to draw just a little bit of attention to what we have on the table this time around. Not only this wonderful gavel that Eric did bring to the table,
And we
but
will use that
Literally.
to murder one of us by the end of the night.
Oh, we hope so.
We
That's
will
what the gavel is
recreate.
for.
We will recreate a Cannibal Corpse song. No problem.
Yes.
Nice, but
At
this,
least visually.
this anvil is actually in our grind video, and if you would like to see this anvil in action, please go check out our YouTube channel and watch the grind video. You will not be disappointed. We promise. And over there, just little mention, little product placement, little shameless promotion.
It's
We're
a
plugging at the
podcast.
top
It's a
of the
pod-
episode so we don't have to do it later.
That is our wonderful 10-inch vinyl, our EP of 5, with the wonderful artwork of John Lamacchia. And it has 5 songs: Vagrant Muse, Stopwatch, Grind, Taking Back the Night, and For You. And Taking Back the Night just reached 12,000 views on YouTube.
Hell yeah.
So check it out if you'd like to. Visit our website at backfromzeroNYC.com and you can find all this stuff. All right, with all that said, what's going on, guys?
Well, I'll tell you with all that said.
Okay, please do.
because I just finished editing the first one.
Right.
I think we clocked in at like 50 minutes.
Okay,
Wow.
that's correct. Yeah.
Yeah, way too much talking.
Yeah.
Way too much work.
All right.
It's a podcast. I'd
Tone
like
it
to
d-
get
we
it
gotta
down.
tone it down.
No, I want to get it down to like 3.
3 minutes?
3 minutes.
Okay,
we come
cool.
here.
Right.
We plug.
Right.
We push our boner pills or whatever.
Right.
The supplements.
The blue chews,
right.
yeah.
The blue pills.
And then we
that's
get
what
the
do.
hell out of here. I could edit it in like an hour.
That's true.
We'll be good to go.
All right.
I think we could do better. I think we could push it to 3 seconds.
3 seconds.
Buy our stuff.
We'll do the clap. we'll upload the clap.
yeah.
It's like, look how in sync it is.
How about every episode is just us clapping?
Okay.
We'll just clap and then like later.
Yeah.
That's
That
good.
works.
Clapcast. There you go.
works.
Perfect title.
The clapcast.
So what's going on, everyone?
Have you guys seen the movie trailer for that movie, Mickey 17?
No, I
No.
have not.
I sure have,
No,
buddy.
I have not.
So,
Yeah.
okay, so Eric has, right?
Yeah.
So basically, the premise of the movie is like this guy goes on a mission with like this crew of like about 200 people, right? They're on like some barren planet, and they're there to terraform it. And the whole premise is that he's what's called an expendable, where they make him do the stuff that would kill you, and they just clone him and send him back out to do another thing that would get him killed. And then they collect the data and see how it'll affect the colony and all that stuff. So I was talking to Raven, and I'm like, oh, I haven't watched a movie in literally like years at this point, at least of my own volition. So I'm like, that looks like a really good movie. And her being a smartass goes, if you think the movie looks good, you should read the book. So I took her up on that, and I started
Okay.
reading the book.
Nice.
It's really good.
Of course, right.
The book is really good.
You know, it's true. The book is 99% of the time better than
Always.
the movie. It really
Yeah, well,
is.
almost.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Movies are awesome, but the book is just always
Have you seen
Great.
Harry Potter?
no. And I've never read the book.
Don't get me started, okay?
I have never.
I hate seeing the movie and then reading the book because
You
then
gotta
I
read the
only
book
see.
first,
Yeah,
yeah.
you can only picture those actors in the thing.
Yeah,
Right,
true.
right.
Well, that's the problem I have with this one right now because obviously the movie's coming out, so the book cover is the actor
Yeah.
playing the character
Yeah,
Mickey.
Twilight.
Yeah, Robert Patterson.
Yeah.
Gotcha. You know what's funny? Whenever I've always been an avid reader as opposed to a movie watcher, at least in my later years, like my late teens, 20s, my formative years, like that.
Right.
And it's funny because I'd read a book and I would have this image of whoever's in the book in my head. I like, however I think they look or
Right.
whatever.
Yeah.
And then I would watch a movie and I couldn't be more wrong about what these
Oh, I
people look
see.
like. Even if they totally describe the person, I'm like, no, they have brown hair. Like in my head, I'm just like making up my own people in this story.
Right.
And they would look nothing ever. And I mean ever. They would never look like anybody in the movie. I'd be like, wow, I would be the worst casting director ever. Like I would get fired in like a week. They'd be like, Austin, you're done.
Yeah.
Like it wouldn't even be a thing.
The character was described as a 53-year-old white male, brown hair, blue eyes.
I'm thinking Ving Rhames.
Yeah. Lucy Liu.
You mean Sherlock
Right,
Holmes?
Lucy Liu.
Sherlock Holmes isn't an Asian woman? When did that happen?
That would be my cast directing. I'd be so bad at it. It's not even funny.
It also depends on the book too, because like some books are very obviously like the main character is a self-insert,
Yeah.
and so like they want the reader to like, oh, that could be me, depending on the genre and all that stuff. But then there are books like you said, like they give you a very plain description of what the character looks like,
Right, yeah.
and I have the same problem. Not that I get like the basic physical features wrong, but it whenever they cast someone, it's never who I would have picked, which I feel like is kind of like the consumer's dilemma. Right? Because how many movies have you seen like somebody sees, oh, I would have never picked that guy to play that character.
Right.
But you're a fucking consumer. Shut up.
True.
Well, it's
Put
funny
up or shut up.
Watch the moving pictures, idiot.
Well, that's funny. There was that one movie, The Mosquito Coast.
Right.
And
Harrison Ford?
And now it is Harrison Ford,
Yeah.
right? I don't know why, but I always thought to myself, that should be Michael Douglas. I don't know why,
Okay.
but I always saw Michael Douglas doing that movie instead of Harrison Ford.
Right.
And I've seen it with Harrison Ford, so it's not like I haven't seen the movie.
They're
I
comparable.
That was
yeah.
like me with The Godfather. When I read the Godfather book, I was like, Al Pacino, that's Carrot Top.
Carrot Top, yeah.
Right?
And he was only, 5 years old at that time? He would have been perfect.
A little 3 foot nothing running around. Fucking,
That would have been like the later day Francis Ford Coppola. He would have cast Carrot Top. He kind of went off the rails, seemingly.
He did. He got a little loopy.
Yeah.
you know what movie got the casting perfect?
What?
movie?
Waterworld.
Waterworld.
I don't even know what it is.
Kevin Costner.
Never
It was
heard
that
of it.
big bomb from the 90s.
Yeah,
Was
he's
it
like,
really? I have no idea.
Waterworld is a Costner film similar to, what was the other one? The Mailman?
No, The Postman.
The Postman.
I've
That's
heard
it.
of that one.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah, yeah.
know.
Good one.
Another bomb.
Where it's a very specific type of role. It's like white savior apocalypse hero.
Right.
Waterworld, the only difference is that he's a fish man. And it's
Gotcha.
exactly as described. It's a water world.
Oh, that's fun. That's
And like
kinda
people
funny.
live on like these barges that they scrap
Really?
together and shit.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
You don't remember? It was a, like,
I've never
have you seen it?
never
I've seen
heard
the
of it.
movie. It got panned when it came out,
yeah.
Okay.
but it was, it was.
They
it
had
was
a ride. There was
yeah.
a ride of it.
Yeah.
At
that
like
would make
Universal.
sense.
Yeah,
that
they
sounds,
did.
That sounds like would make
You got to
sense.
recoup
yeah.
some of that budget. I got to say, Kevin Costner is beaming right now that you're talking about him.
Yeah.
Are you kidding? I love Waterworld.
Although he does have
Do you
that.
really?
I do.
I haven't thought
That's
of that
awesome.
movie, and
I think about that movie all
Wow.
the time. There's like a whole like 15-minute exposition where they explain how they recycle their piss. You can't.
well, everyone wanted to know. They're,
Yeah.
you know.
Well, you can't get better media than that. And the postman, he's like on a horse for 30 seconds in the movie, but like the horse was supposed, like that scene on the horse is like the most popular scene. It's at the end of the film. He's riding off, and he's got a little postal bag and everything. Dude, that horse killed it. That fucking horse killed it.
Best
That's
supporting
awesome.
horse.
Hell yeah.
Academy Awards.
I bet the glue that horse made really worked well too.
Yeah, man.
Oh gosh.
Oh, the poor horse.
And it was delicious.
You ever have horse?
No.
What's the weirdest meat you've eaten? Ever have an ostrich burger?
No.
I've had ostrich jerky.
Oh, okay.
I have. I've had ostrich jerky. It's not bad.
Weird.
Yeah.
The weirdest meat I've ever eaten was goat brain.
Ooh,
Really?
Wow.
Wow, you got my attention. Goat
Goat
brain?
brain.
Yeah, it was
That's crazy. Where and how?
Fresh,
and what
too.
happened?
Where do you get
it was like a Greek Easter, you know, when they put the whole thing on the
Oh,
spit.
yeah, yeah.
Is it a cooked thing or is it like
Yeah, no, it's
raw?
cooked. It's
really?
cooked. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
They put it on the spit and they cook it over fire. And the brain was like part of the meal, so I tried it. Not for me.
Okay,
Right,
yeah.
right,
Definitely
gotcha.
not for me, but I've eaten it.
Can you describe it to us?
To my recollection, the best way I could describe it would be a warm paste with a spongy texture, but creamy, which is really like off-putting.
Yeah.
Almost like a
Melt-
whipped cream cheese-ish.
No, like
Melt in your mouth.
you know the whipped yogurts?
Yeah.
Similar to that.
Okay.
Where like you could
lighter.
feel the sponginess,
Yeah.
but it still melts in your mouth. Very strong flavor.
Interesting.
Goat brain.
And the eyeballs too.
Wow. You
Well, that's
ate
the delicacy,
eyeballs?
right?
Yeah, those you just kind of pop in your mouth like a cherry,
Like
or
an
something.
M&M.
like an M&M, like a gumball.
Wow, that's wild. I'll be honest, I am not very adventurous when it comes to food.
Yeah.
I'm really not. I'm very like
The staples are
very-
just so
beef,
prevalent.
chicken, just regular
I've had
stuff, that's
venison,
it.
maybe rabbit once.
Well, you're a vegetarian.
This was years ago. This was
Right.
years ago.
This
I
is
didn't
before
like.
he decided to
I
be a
didn't like the
bad person.
venison. I didn't like the rabbit because it's kind of a little
Gamey.
gamey.
It's gamey, yeah.
You know, I was not a big fan.
Especially
of
if you
that.
cook it wrong.
Yeah, I'm sure it wasn't cooked to perfection, but
I've had duck.
Duck is
That's-
really
That I've
good.
had.
Yeah, that's
I kind of
kinda-
like duck.
yeah.
Duck
Duck is really good. Duck
Yeah.
breast specifically,
right.
when like it's really crispy on the
Yeah.
outside.
Duck
Really
I've
good.
had.
But again, duck can be very gamey,
yeah.
Yes.
prepared.
Yeah.
like half-assedly.
Yeah.
I don't know what we would do without chickens and cows.
I don't know,
and
yeah.
Pigs.
We would be
Yeah.
growing up eating something else. Like
Yeah,
don't
like
put
other-
it don't
like-
put it past the human spirit.
Yeah. No, you.
No, but I'm just saying, like, good thing we got those
Yeah.
guys.
Definitely, I agree. Yeah.
We'd be eating the palmetto bugs from last.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm,
So I have a question. I brought a
Sure.
question. I
Uh-oh.
have brought a question for all of us.
Augie's
Um,
question hour.
Yeah. Having to do with music, as we all do. What is everybody's favorite band? Or you can give a top 5. Like, what's like your top 5 favorite bands? Top 3, whatever it may be.
Let's do a top 12.
Top 12. Well, I'm just saying, like, because I just,
Top 18
at
and
this
a
point in
quarter.
my life, I can't say I have
No,
a one
I know.
favorite band. There's
Yeah.
like, there's so
That's a
many
tough
bands,
one,
you know?
yeah.
So, like, maybe
I don't think
3
I've
or
ever had
5.
like one favorite thing.
I think I've had one favorite band at different points in my life.
Totally.
But I'm
And then
like,
it changes.
Yeah, it totally changes. And also, as a second part of that question, when is it that you all thought or knew that you wanted to play rock and roll and dedicate at least a good portion of your life to it? Like, when did you know? Like, I want to play rock. I want to do this.
I don't know if I could immediately pull up just even 5 favorite
Really?
bands.
Okay.
Because my tastes change like the weather.
Okay. Well, how about maybe most
Oh.
influential?
Chevelle.
Yeah, okay. You like Chevelle?
Chevelle's definitely my most influential.
Okay.
That and Taking Back Sunday.
Okay.
Mostly because of the lead singers.
Okay.
Those are like vocal goals, is
That
to
would
be able to
make
hit
sense.
ranges like that and
Right.
stuff like that.
Nice.
In regards to wanting to do music, I've been in music, whether seriously or not, literally since like the 2nd grade.
Okay. Cool.
Like I remember in the 2nd grade, I was in the drum line for our symphony.
Right.
Our
Okay.
2nd grade, so it was bullshit symphony band.
Still, you're
but
still
you know,
doing
I
something,
stood there and I hit the drum with the sticks.
Right.
Parum
right.
pa pum pum.
I pum. I was little drummer boy for like 12 weeks,
Okay.
and then didn't touch an instrument until high school,
Yeah.
which is where Eric and I met.
Absolutely. In band in high school. We
And,
both played trumpet.
Ironically
Interesting.
enough, the only reason I was in the band is because I was labeled a problem child, and they said I needed something
Never.
to occupy my time,
That's great.
and so it was either join the band program or get suspended. So
Wow.
I chose the band program.
I'm glad you did.
Had a 2-week crash course on the trumpet, and then they threw me in front of sheet music, which I've never seen in my entire life.
They did that to me too. 9th grade, I got there. I always was in art classes. I always drew and painted. Like up until then, I was always art. I was a big
Right.
artist.
I remember you telling me that.
And I get to high school and I'm in band.
Wow.
They put me in band. I'm like, what am I doing here? I don't know
They
any
put
of
sheet
this
music
shit.
in front of you without teaching you how to read the music.
I don't remember.
That's the beauty of high school
Yeah,
band,
well,
baby.
yeah, you know.
You figured it the fuck out.
We learned a lot there, though. Honestly,
Like
like
dots, there.
I-
Yeah.
I wish I had paid more attention during all that.
It was very educational. I'll give you that.
Yeah,
Didn't know I'd enjoy the trumpet until I was forced to
Yeah.
learn it.
that's the
It
thing.
definitely wasn't my first choice instrument.
Yeah, that's the thing. They gave me a trumpet, and I was like, okay, and like I kind of took to it, and then they just moved me up. Like they put you in like the beginner band or whatever,
Right,
and then
right.
into like marching band
Then
and
symphonic.
concert band,
Right.
symphonic band, jazz band. I was in all those.
Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I was restricted to marching and symphonic band because
The problem child,
I was labeled a problem child, and also
rightfully so.
after 3 years, for sure.
Yeah.
After 3 years of reading sheet music, I still couldn't read sheet music because nobody taught me like how to read a key change. Nobody taught me
Or like key signatures.
well, not even. I knew how to read like concert C. I could read concert C fluently. That was easy. But when the key changed and
You
you
didn't
had
know where the
like
sharps and flats were.
Yeah,
That's what I'm
sharp-
talking
yeah.
about. Key. Yeah, exactly.
yeah, I'd like. But if it was in C, I was good.
C is no accidental, so you
Right,
you
right,
know
yeah.
exactly. I get it now.
Right.
Yes, I get it.
But then, like when it's in D and E
Right,
and
right.
all this
Yep.
shit, I didn't know how to transpose
Throw
it.
the
And
F
it's like,
sharp in there, and
what
you're like,
octave
yeah,
am I
yeah.
on? Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
nobody ever taught me that. Nobody sat down and said, okay, this is like what it sounds like. This. So I literally, for all 3 years I was in symphonic band, I had to memorize like 8-page pieces because I didn't know how to read the music.
Gotcha. Wow.
And so like we played Mount Vesuvius.
Yeah, Frank Ticelli.
Yeah, which is I think what like a 4-page piece.
It's like a 9-minute.
Yeah, it's a
Piece.
long ass song. I
like
had
it.
to memorize that
Yeah.
whole thing.
Wow.
I couldn't read the music.
Right.
I think if I fuck around for 20 minutes, I could probably play
Yeah.
like the first like 8 lines of that song or whatever the fuck you call it.
I remember the fingerings.
Yeah,
on
it
the
was like-
trumpet, but I bet I could not make a note at this point. I haven't
Yeah.
played in so long.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, so and then marching band, it actually worked out because marching band you have to memorize the songs.
Well, marching
Okay.
band we played like Hendrix and like ACDC,
Yeah, exactly.
so it was a little easier than
But it's still, it's like 30 minutes of music we had to memorize.
Yeah.
So I guess for all intents and purposes, it was good training now.
Right.
We're not going on stage and I got my little fucking notebook with the lyrics
Right.
on it.
Yeah. Of course.
except for Curtain Call.
Yeah, no, Curtain Call is gonna be 30 years from now. I'm still gonna
What
fuck
is
that
it
song
with
up.
that song, man? It's a lot of
The
lyrics.
words.
There's too many
Yeah.
words.
We
You
used
wrote
half
it.
of them in the
I
English
know.
language.
I know. Eric and I wrote the fucking lyrics and we put too many of them in there.
Dragging me into it.
I am
he's,
dragging-
He's right
Back that
though.
out.
Were you guys in band or anything like that? In like school bands?
I was in a couple. I was in like the high school band, and then I was in like a high school productions
Play-
of what was it, Godspell in Greece,
playing bass.
playing bass,
Nice, okay.
Really? Okay.
reading music back then.
Right.
And
This
yeah, it
guy
was
can
fun.
read.
It was fun. Well, what good does it do, right?
It got me into music. I didn't play any music.
Well, I took
until then.
lessons at an early age, and I learned how to read then. And I'll never forget my teacher. It was somewhere under the L on 86th Street, and we would go once a week. And he was like he was a hard ass. Like if I didn't learn my stuff, he used to get pissed.
Oh, one of those.
So I was like, oh shit, I better learn my stuff, otherwise he's gonna get upset. But I remember at the end of each lesson, he would play the bass, just improvise stuff on bass, and I was just wow.
Enamored.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
and that's what kept me going every week, just for that end of the lesson when he would just let loose and do something
that's
crazy.
great.
Cool.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
You got good at that yourself there, Arthur.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Yeah. You rock on the bass. You know that.
I guess I'm a frustrated guitar player.
It works.
Yeah.
I mean, it
Yeah.
does. It literally works. So.
I started out on a 6-string, piece of crap 6-string, and then I had an older cousin who played bass, and he used to invite me over to like when they would rehearse rehearsals and stuff, and yeah, that's kind of how I got into it, by watching him play,
Okay.
and not necessarily going to shows because I was too young at the time, but just going to the rehearsals. I remember they played a block party somewhere in the neighborhood, and I went and checked them out, and I was just like, wow, this is cool, and he encouraged me
That's
to
awesome.
play bass. Yeah, it's the best instrument. I mean, hands down.
Bass is great.
But no, it is. It's
It's
got a
fun.
groove to Nice
Just the
full-
low,
Yeah, no,
it's
it's
fun.
cool. It's a cool instrument.
It moves more air than anything else.
Yeah.
It's a comforting sound. It's like a sonic hug.
Yeah.
Sonic hug.
Yeah.
To answer your original question, now that we're back in high school and I'm playing the trumpet, I would have to say favorite band. I gotta go Metallica.
I figured you were going to say that.
Just because, like,
Color me surprised.
I know, what a shock. But I was into other stuff before then. But then when I heard them, that was like the biggest thing. Like that changed everything for me. So and like getting into it. So I was playing trumpet in high school. My friend played guitar, and he liked all the same music, that
cool.
I was into. And he was playing with these other kids, like they had a band. I'm like, fuck, I want to be in a band, but I play the trumpet. They're playing like, rock.
Right.
So I was listening. What was I in? Like, I think I was a sophomore or a junior. No, I was a junior in high school.
Okay.
And I was listening to Metallica, the song Of Wolf and Man on the Black album. And it's literally just ja, 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 ba, ba, ba. And like, I'm listening to it, and I'm like, I just like kind of start doing it with my fingers. I'm like, oh wait, this is all he's like, oh, this is all that's going on with the drums. I could do this, I think. And then like I kept listening to the song. I'm like, okay, what's he doing there? So like I was like, I got to learn the drums.
Nice.
I could join my friend's band, and we're gonna rock out. So that's like how I got into the drums.
That's awesome.
Interesting.
That's awesome.
I would love to have been a drummer, but there's no way my parents were buying a drum kit, living in an apartment.
Oh yeah.
That wasn't happening.
Bless my mother. She was very supportive of it all.
That's
She did not
awesome.
mind pissing off our shitty neighbors. She was all for it. She was like, you want to play the
Eric.
drums?
Yeah, yeah.
Fuck them.
That's awesome.
Yeah, they want to throw stuff in our yard? Yeah, we'll blast them out. No problem.
That's awesome.
Gotcha.
How did you get into it, Austin?
So
What's your favorite band?
Okay, so
Yes.
now I have like
And once again, this is, of course, we all listen to so much different,
Right.
but
It's
like,
hard to choose.
I'm
There's
gonna
always
say,
one that's close to the heart.
exactly.
I'm gonna say in succession of how I really got into rock and roll in general.
Yeah.
First came AC/DC, then Led Zeppelin, then Guns N' Roses, then the Black Crowes and Tool, and then there's like literally the entire Seattle scene as its own thing.
Right.
And
In that
that's
order, right?
pretty
Yes.
much. Pretty much that's how the order came. Seattle was like before Tool, maybe.
That's
because
true.
I got
Yeah,
into
it
Tool a
was.
little later than Soundgarden.
They
and
were after
Pearl
that.
Jam and Nirvana.
Yeah.
But all that stuff around that time, like those would be those bands that I just mentioned, like formative for everything.
Yeah.
And the way I actually started playing guitar was funny enough. My father played guitar, but here's the funny thing: my father, when he was a kid, taught my next door neighbor. Mike, I'm not going to mention last names because you don't know if people want to be mentioned or not, but his
We
name
could
is
bleep
Mike.
it.
What's that?
We could bleep it.
No, it's Mike.
I know it anyway.
Yeah,
so
no, I
it's
got
okay.
it. So Mike lived next door, and my father taught Mike how to play. Then as I grew up, I was like maybe 12. And I just, once I heard AC/DC, and I was like, oh man, I want to learn how to play guitar.
What a great sound.
That,
like just the guitar.
I wanted
Yeah,
to play
I know.
guitar
So
after
cool.
hearing Angus
Wild.
Young
I know.
for sure.
So cool.
And then I heard Jimmy Page and Slash. And I said, I want to be a rock star. I said, that's it. There's nothing else that I want to do with my life except fucking rock. So I have to learn how to play guitar. And my major idols were those three guys in general to begin with. Angus, Jimmy Page, and Slash. And so I'm like 12 years old. I want to learn how to play guitar. Mike, returning the favor to my father for teaching him, teaches me
That's
how to
funny.
play guitar.
So by proxy, your dad taught you.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the funny thing was, my father was good. My father was definitely a good guitar player. He had a band called the Rainy Day Children many years ago. They opened for like, I think it was Edgar Winter. That was like one of the biggest shows.
Cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
So, he did a lot with it at the time. And but then he changed careers and he went a different path and he gave up the rock and roll. But Mike always played. Mike still plays to this day in the neighborhood. And Mike taught me how to play. So it's funny because I was like 12, my first guitar lesson. Mike's telling me to hit the fret, to hold it down, And I'm 12 fucking years old.
Yeah.
I actually started crying at my first guitar lesson because it hurt so much. Me trying to hold the. I'm playing on this.
Yeah.
A
Was it an
nylon.
acoustic?
It was a nylon acoustic.
That's
with
the
action.
worst thing you
Well,
can do.
nylon-
as a
nylon's
kid.
easier.
That's what
Yeah.
happened to me. They gave me an acoustic. I'm like,
Yeah, the action's like an inch off the neck of the
And you
guitar.
don't want to play acoustic. You want to go,
I want to rock out.
I know.
So I start crying, and I'm trying to hold it back. I'm like, I'm fine. And Mike's like, all right, I guess that's enough for today.
Yeah.
I said, okay.
Oh man.
But so that's kind of how I got started.
Right.
And yeah, I haven't gotten in touch with Mike in a while, but we every now and then we talk. So, but yeah, that's how I got into it and started learning. And those are my formative influences.
Who was your big band that you were
What do you
into?
got?
Well, my progression, I started out with the first band that I got into as a young kid was probably the Stones, and then it went to Sabbath,
Hell yeah.
Zeppelin,
Nice.
and then I got into the whole prog thing with like Yes. Chris Squire was a big influence with the Rickenbackers, and he was the first bass player aside from John Entwistle, whose like tone really cut through the mix, and you could actually hear the bass doing like lead work, because bass is great, but melody's good too. What's wrong with playing melody on the bass? You know, so I was always like trying to pick out, like commercial jingles. Like I'd be sitting there with my little, Music Master bass or whatever, trying to pick out like commercial jingles or TV show, jingles and stuff like that. So I kind of helped develop my ear.
Okay.
And then the reading of the music went out the window, and then everything I learned was basically by ear at that point. I mean, I can rely on the music as like a backup if I really need to look at it. If I can't figure it out by ear, I can look at the sheet music and figure it out.
Right.
But I think just those formative years, sitting there with a bass, listening to a commercial and saying, oh, that sounds like a cool melody. Let me try and play that,
Yep.
kind of helped.
Definitely.
But those are my earlier influences. And then it kind of went in, like you said, the grunge thing then hit.
Right.
I guess during the punk years, I liked Elvis. I liked Elvis Costello was great bass player in Joe Jackson's band. Who's that? Graham maybe? He was Joe Jackson's bass player. Phenomenal.
Really? I haven't listened to much. I like Joe Jackson. Anything I've heard of Joe Jackson.
If you listen to Joe Jackson, the bass is really prominent.
Really?
And
Okay.
he played apparently with these I think they were like nylon bass strings.
Oh,
It
wow.
creates like a real
Interesting.
punchy
Okay.
sound. I was like, how the fuck does he get that sound? And then I read about it, and a lot of it was him playing. Obviously, he's a great player, but also the sound, the strings that he used helps you get that like punchy. It's like almost like a stand-up sound on an electric bass.
Oh,
that's
okay,
It's just
cool.
like punchy, you know what I mean? It comes through the mix, and I guess if you EQ it right, it sounds good.
Right.
And then it went into grunge, and I kind of gravitated toward STP was a big favorite
I
of
love
mine.
them,
Stone Temple Pilots was probably my favorite grunge band. And then I get into a whole bunch of stuff like Jeff Buckley. I was a big fan of him for a little while.
You know,
it just
who's
goes on and on.
A punchy 80s dude, bassist? Tony Levin.
Tony Levin.
I know
on
the
those
name.
Peter Gabriel
the
albums.
Peter Gabriel
okay, right, right.
albums,
I
the
love
King
Peter
Crimson
Gabriel.
King
albums.
Crimson, those are my favorite. Yeah,
Ooh.
sick.
Discipline Beat, Three
I know,
Perfect
yeah.
Pair. Yeah.
You know what's funny? When I was growing up, like you guys had like steady progression through genres and sounds and
Right,
everything.
right.
Yeah.
When I was growing up, I literally had a crash course in rock and roll
Okay.
because like my mom and dad listened to Aerosmith
Yeah.
all the way over to fucking Ozzy.
Okay.
My first cassette was Blizzard of Oz.
Okay. Oh, that's awesome.
Not bad.
That's a
and
good
and
one
that
to
was an
have,
inheritance from my mother,
That's great.
And so I kind of had like a backwards progression of music taste
Okay.
because like I was started on the classics,
Mhm.
and then like when you listen to that for a quarter of your life,
Right.
it's like, all right, I'm ready for something else.
Of
Yeah,
course, yeah.
So growing up on Zeppelin and the Black Crowes and AC/DC and all
Right.
this stuff, it's like, okay, well, what else is out there?
Right.
And so when I became a teenager, instead of doing what most teens did, which was start listening to that type of music, I ended up listening to like modern indie rock bands
Okay.
Mhm.
that at the time were still indie. So, like you have Mindless Self-Indulgence and, Taking Back Sunday, they weren't
Yeah,
that
no,
big
I've heard
back
about
then.
those bands, yeah.
30 Seconds to Mars,
Yeah.
when they first came out, you know, nobody knew who the fuck that was.
Right.
Panic at the Disco,
Yeah.
you know, like real poppy stuff.
Yeah.
I think that's normal
That's-
for like our age.
Yeah.
Group.
Yeah.
Right.
Because like all the classics
Like
are
I
out
grew-
already.
That's what I like as a kid. I was listening to the Beatles and Zeppelin. Like,
Right.
But
that's
then
what
you
my
got
folks were
older, and
playing.
it's like, okay,
Yeah,
what
then you
else
get
is there
into-
out there? Yeah.
Yeah, but like that's the thing. Like with you really resonated with Metallica.
Yeah.
For me, for whatever the reason was, I didn't resonate with any of the classics until after I had gone through the spectrum of like new stuff.
Mhm.
Right.
'Cause I just like I circled back and then like I listened to Zeppelin for like 3 years straight.
Yeah,
Nothing else, you know.
Yeah. I'll tell you right now, Led Zeppelin 2, that changed my life. That was literally a life-changing album for me.
Yeah,
I heard Led Zeppelin 2 and I was just like, whoa, fucking mind blown.
I
That
know.
was
Yeah.
that album, forget it, man. Oh man.
Well, the first album was creepy. Listening to that
I
as,
love the
as a
first
young
album.
as a young kid, though, listening to that, it was just kind of like a little scary, and that's probably part of the appeal.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a
Totally.
very,
It's a
very
little frightening.
yeah.
It's off-putting when you're like, I like this. you
Yeah.
know? Yeah.
It's funny that there's one Zeppelin song that will forever be a formative memory
uh-huh.
for me, and that's Black Dog.
Oh, it's a great song.
It's
yeah.
such a great. That was the first time
It's a
that
good
I
riff.
listened to
Right.
a song,
Yeah.
right.
and for some reason that song just like really like locked itself
That's a
in
tricky
my brain.
one.
It's a, yes,
it turns
is,
around.
yeah.
The riff is all
Yeah.
A
weird.
lot of people get that wrong.
Yeah,
they,
totally.
They don't get it right. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that is the one song out of every song I've ever listened to in my entire life that like resonated.
That's awesome. I have a question. I have another question. What is everybody's island band?
Island band.
You, do
So
you
like
know what I
if
mean?
you could
Desert,
take
yeah.
one band,
Like, right,
One
you're stuck
album.
on a desert, you're stuck on a...
and you could only listen to one
One
band.
album.
Right, one
One
band.
band.
You could
Gotcha.
take their whole discography, one band on a deserted island, you're by yourself.
I think I'd be happy starving to death on an island listening to the Beach Boys.
Oh, okay,
Oh,
good
that's
choice.
it.
I think the irony would be hilarious,
Yeah.
and also
It would
I'm
cheer
on an
you up.
island.
Right.
I'll
Yeah.
sit there eating my last piece of food, knowing I'm gonna die in a week. I'll go to Kokomo.
Yeah.
We'll get there fast, and then we'll take it slow.
That's great.
As I
It's not
waste
really
away
a
on the
Beach
Beach
Boys.
Boys.
I
Cheerful-
don't consider that a Beach Boys
Why?
because it's horrible.
Come on, wouldn't it be nice? God only knows.
Yeah.
I'd be singing that as I fucking waste away.
It would be a cheerful demise.
That's
Yeah,
not, That's not
exactly.
too bad.
My island band.
Yeah, what do you got, Art?
I'd have to say The Dead.
Really?
Probably
Okay,
The Dead,
you say some
yeah.
Grateful Dead. I could see that
Yeah.
for sure.
What about you?
Me?
Yeah,
Black Crows.
I
I
think-
would take the entire Black
I'm surprised
Crows
this is the
discography.
first time you're bringing them up tonight.
Well, I brought them up when I was
Yeah.
talking about my 5 favorite bands.
Oh, that's true. Yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah, no, Black Crows by all means. I can dance till I die listening to the Black Crows, and I'd on a deserted island. I'd
would
be,
die,
I'd,
yeah.
I'd be okay with that. If I knew it was like my demise, deserted
Yeah, yeah.
island, I'd be like, you know what? I'm just listening to Black Crows going down. Absolutely.
What about you, Eric?
Oh, definitely the Black Crows. I'm thinking. I don't know. I'm trying to pick someone long discography, so I have a lot to
It
choose
would have
from,
to
and
be,
like
yeah.
varied.
Right.
So you wouldn't take Metallica with you then?
I don't know. I've heard those songs a billion times.
That's
true,
yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, I really don't know.
What about Dream Theater?
Yeah, maybe
The songs are long.
they are long. Yeah,
You'd have plenty of listening time.
I would never even get through all of them.
Yeah.
Well, let's go with that then.
I mean, what's your life
Let's go with that.
expectancy?
And yeah, they got all different stuff. That works.
What's the song you would want playing at your execution?
I think a Slayer song.
It depends on how you're being executed. We talking firing squad or hanging?
Electric Chair.
Oh, Ride the Lightning.
There you go. Perfect.
For me, form doesn't matter. It would be Blastroid by
Oh
Mastodon.
yeah, right. That guy just left.
Yeah, he didn't left. Did he leave or
Yeah.
did they
Yeah,
fire
he
him?
left.
No, he
left.
quit.
Yeah.
He did quit. Okay.
Crazy. And then they got this Ben Eller. He's a YouTube
Oh, really?
Guitar-
Oh,
Taurus.
yeah, I saw
He's
that.
he's
yeah.
filling in for him on
Yeah.
the tour. Yeah.
Well, I heard not to get into it because I don't know the details, so I couldn't elaborate.
Uh-huh.
But people were saying like they've been having issues for a while.
Is that
Like
right?
between
Yeah.
the band members.
Right.
Well, we know something about that, don't we?
Yeah. Yeah, we do, Eric. Now look me in the eyes.
He can't.
Well, my eyes are over there, so.
I'm looking at Jimmy.
An execution song.
Something to get the crowd into it, you know?
You know what? I think
Da-na-na-na. Hey.
Yeah.
Da-da-da.
you know what? I think if I'm going to be executed, I think I want to hear the breakdown from Domination by Pantera.
Oh, good call.
Go 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 go.
Hit the switch.
Go go. Definitely, I think that's the way. That wailing solo. I think that's the way I want to go out.
That's good. It's got to be a metal song. Honestly.
Yeah,
It has
does,
something
yeah.
high energy, explosive.
I'm getting murdered. Let's
Yeah.
go out with a bang
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
Oh man, that'd be so cool to get executed to Blastroid though. Just
Is it like is it at the end of the song like that da-na-na-na-na bong? Is that when they take you out or
no? They hit the switch in the middle of second chorus.
okay?
So when it's going, I want to drink some fucking blood.
Yeah. So you don't even get to hear that awesome boo.
Yeah, no, I don't get the drop. I'm being executed.
Yeah. Well, we'll
They're
all
gonna take
enjoy
that.
it.
They will take that
Yeah.
from me.
Yeah. No bass drop
Talk
for
about
you.
prominent bass. You would love that song.
Yeah, I could
because the
listen to
fucking
that.
bass like jumps at you.
Does it?
Oh yeah, it's a violent bass line.
It's a violent bass line.
Wow. It's just a fun song.
It is
too.
a fun song.
Uh,
Anyway, back to bugs.
yeah, no bugs. How many bugs do you think you could fight before succumbing to their bites?
I know I can fight about 5 or 6 cockroaches falling out of my bathroom ceiling,
Okay,
and I
You've
won
proven
because
yourself in
I've
that
proven
regard.
myself.
but you had weapons. This is hand-to-hand combat. You got to touch the bugs.
Oh, fuck out of here!
All right, so one, Austin's dead.
I'm dead. Yeah, I just heard Domination in the background.
Yeah, that's your execution.
That's my execution
They
song.
just put one bug
yeah.
on you, and you have a heart attack.
I'm done. I'm out of here. That's it. It's over. So hang on, I got a question. I'm gonna backpedal. We were talking about movies before, right?
Yeah, anything with bugs in it. That's my answer to your question.
Okay, so you already know what I'm gonna ask.
Sure.
What's everybody's favorite movie
Die Hard.
and why?
Die Hard, hands down.
That's a good pick.
I have seen that movie more times than years I've been alive.
Really? Okay.
I used to have the entire script memorized. I would watch
That's awesome.
it day in, day out, nonstop. And
That was
I
a
used
good
to
one.
watch it every Christmas.
right.
It is
right.
still a
I
Christmas.
watched it this
Yeah.
Christmas.
Did you?
Did you?
Yeah,
Yeah,
very
Absolutely.
nice.
It's a classic. And it is a Christmas movie.
It is.
I don't know why there's some kind of debate over whether it is or it isn't. That was going on a few years ago.
I mean,
Yeah,
for
yeah,
Christ's
It
sake,
is.
It's a
they
Christmas
even say
movie.
ho 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 in the movie.
It's a Christmas movie. That's
It's a
just-
Christmas
come
movie.
on.
Gotcha.
I kind of like Pulp Fiction. I like Die Hard too. Pulp Fiction, Die Hard. Shit.
Pulp Fiction's great. I was
I
way
don't-
into that.
Yeah.
I saw that. I was in 7th grade.
Wow.
I watched.
okay.
I used to watch like I
Movies
was a
you weren't supposed to
huge-
watch?
Well,
Or just a lot.
I just watched. I've seen so many movies. I was a big cinephile.
Fucking nerd.
But so I
Nerd!
saw that in 7th grade, and of course now I'm in the cafeteria. Making lines of blow with my Metro card.
There you
Oh,
go.
of course,
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
And then my math teacher goes, "What are you doing? Where did you learn that?"
Uma Thurman taught me.
Yeah, Pulp Fiction.
That's great. Pulp Fiction.
I was.
John
Pulp
Travolta
Fiction.
came
You saw
to
that
me in a
movie?
dream.
That's a movie that you want to be high to see. I was definitely high the first time I saw it, and the lights were out, and it was kind of like.
It's a
like
great
trip.
movie.
It was like a trip.
It is a
That's
trip.
one
like I
of
was
those
tripping.
movies that I've seen in pieces over the years. I've never sat down and watched it from beginning
No,
to end.
I've seen it.
I've seen bits and pieces from beginning to end, like over the course of time. So I have an idea of the plot,
Right.
but no solid backing to
Well, that's the
support
thing.
my idea.
The
It
cool
moves
thing about
around.
that movie is, that it's not told
Yeah.
chronological.
No.
Yeah, there's
Right,
like
right,
6
right,
plots
right.
in that film.
Yeah, but
That
they
much
all
I know.
intertwine and they all
Right.
dovetail and everything. I don't know that I have a favorite movie, but I know there's many movies I've seen.
Yeah, I get it. Of
like
course, yeah.
on it like a stupid amount of times.
Oh, yeah.
And one of them is 1985, the movie Clue,
Hell yeah, dude.
Wow,
based on
okay.
the board game Clue.
That's
Dude,
interesting.
that
was a
I
good
like
movie.
it.
That is one of my favorite. I just love that movie. I've seen that. I don't even. That's another. I could. You want me
see
to?
it
I'll do the whole
100,000
movie
times.
right now.
Yeah, dude, Tim Curry.
Yeah,
fucking
Tim Curry.
perfect.
Yeah.
Wadsworth the Butler.
Another
That's
role.
awesome.
Listen, another role
Couldn't
that
be
could
played.
not be done by anybody
Yeah.
else but
Agreed.
Tim Curry.
Okay.
You know that movie, Art? Clue?
Yes.
Yeah, I love that movie.
I
You
don't.
introduced me to that movie.
Yeah, I'm sure.
And I've watched it many a time
Yeah.
since.
I've never seen it. I know of it,
It's
but
just
I've never
a great.
seen
It's
it.
funny. It's they're in a creepy mansion. It's just everything about it is like right up my alley.
That's cool.
And you know
That's
what?
cool.
I really think it's like the perfect example of comedy.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just
It's got a lot of different types of jokes, and it's like subtle a lot of the time.
Yeah.
The best jokes are like thinkers that like you
Yeah.
know
You don't get
laugh
until-
right away.
yeah, you don't
like-
get it till the next scene.
Yeah, there's like layers. Like old Simpsons was great at that, where like there's so many layers to the joke
Right.
that like you realize later, like oh wait,
Right.
That's what
right.
they-
that's
Yeah.
oh my god, and then yeah,
I honestly think my favorite part of that movie is how it ends.
with a different ending.
Yeah, they just go through every possible iteration of
Yeah.
how
The
the
end,
movie
how it could
end.
could have ended.
Yeah.
When it
Like,
was in the theaters, they shot 3 different endings, and when it was in the theaters, they like one showing would get one ending, the next showing they
really?
would show the other
Okay.
one.
That's really cool.
Interesting.
Yeah, so like now when you watch it on, whatever,
TV
they
or
just show
DVD.
all of
Yeah.
them. But yeah,
That's
like in the
great.
theaters, you didn't know what you were gonna get.
That's crazy.
Wow.
that's like the Rocky Horror Picture Show.
That's a great movie.
Yeah.
I
that
love
that had a
movie.
huge cult following.
Yeah,
I've seen
and,
that
um,
live in the theater when I was a
Yeah,
kid.
I forget
Eighth
what they
Street
call it. Like,
Playhouse.
Yeah, on 8th Street.
8th
Yeah.
Street Playhouse, man. That was like an ace in the hole every Saturday night. If you
Yeah.
had nothing to do, you just go
Yeah.
there.
yeah, I forget what they call it, but they used to have like the shout-alongs or whatever,
Yeah, yeah,
where,
yeah.
where
Yeah.
people would just
Yeah.
like throw shit.
Yeah.
And,
They
like,
would throw rice.
What's
they
for
would,
dinner?
yeah.
Meatloaf.
Yeah,
yeah.
It's
What's
like
your
they took
favorite movie,
over
Augie?
the theater.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think I'm going to surprise the hell out of everybody, including
It's a
anybody
Wonderful
listening
Life.
right
is
now.
it the B movie
No.
starring Jerry Seinfeld?
No.
Oh,
When Harry Met Sally.
I'm not surprised by that.
I'm
No?
I
no,
knew
I'm
that.
not.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's actually
Huh?
right up your alley.
Yeah, it's a good movie.
Yeah, When Harry Met Sally is by far my favorite movie.
It is a good movie
I've
too.
seen that more. I watch it every year around Christmas time. I've seen it. That's one of those movies where I can recite the
Yeah.
entire movie
Yep.
Yeah,
while
yeah.
watching it. I literally can. Everybody's part, like every line in the movie, I could say. It
Do
all.
all of Bruno Kirby's lines.
I'm not going to do that
Damn
right now.
We're gonna get copyright stricken.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's my favorite movie for sure.
Cool.
Yeah, it's funny too because like same thing with the music. I had a
Uh-huh.
crash course in like classic film
Right.
to the point where like I'm 11 years old and I'm staying up till 1 a.m. to watch Cool Hand Luke on TLC.
Oh, that's cool. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
Which,
nice.
by the way, great fucking movie.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Cool Hand Luke, awesome flick.
Yeah.
That's great.
No, I grew up watching like Hitchcock and all like
Oh, yeah.
I was really into film and movies.
When I was younger, I was more into visual and TV and stuff. Now, I just really, honestly, if I'm doing anything for just like pleasure, for
sake of
the
enjoyment,
sake of
yeah.
enjoyment, I usually just put on the radio. I put on like the jam band station, or
Yeah.
I put on rock and roll. I usually play music. I don't really watch stuff
You
anymore.
indulge in some old man.
Yeah,
shit.
however, if I do watch stuff, I like documentaries, and it's weird because honestly, and you know this as well, Arthur may not know this, I watch
out
nothing
of
but
the
like alien stuff, UFOs,
Oh hell yeah, dude.
Haunting.
ghosts,
Yeah, ghosts.
paranormal.
Yeah.
Ghosts, yeah.
Oh my god, I fucking love ghost hunting and shit.
conspiracy theories. I watch nothing but like all the
Yeah, yeah.
CIA and the FBI type shit. I love all that stuff. I
Area
absolutely love it.
51, all that stuff.
Yeah, that-
Hell yeah.
What is that? I never heard of it.
I don't know.
Area 51.
bar.
So it's like 3 miles south on the 95 from the Chuck E. Cheese.
I know that shop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I believe it was an arcade.
Area 50.
There's a
Oh,
hotel
it was a
that-
shooter. I remember it. Remember that? Area 51 shooter in the arcades?
Yeah, exactly.
I
It was an
remember
arcade cabinet.
Yeah.
There we go.
That's funny.
So that's what you're into. Wow.
Yeah,
No-
that's
okay.
all. That's all the stuff I watch on YouTube or Discovery Plus. I love it.
Austin got me. Austin and Marianne got me into ghost hunting again.
Right.
I used to be really into it. Like
And then
when
you
I
got
still
out of it.
when I still lived with my mom.
Right.
Like every Friday, Saturday, we would sit down and like that was the plan for the evening
Right.
is watch like Ghost Adventures and Ghost Hunters and all
Right.
this stuff. And then I kind of
Oh my
Oh my
God.
God, it's
What
a
the
ghost.
hell happened?
Oh,
Wait a minute.
Jesus Christ! You scared
Oh my
the
God,
shit
did I
out of me.
really?
Yes, you did. I was like, what the hell's going on?
Wow, Augie. Couldn't help myself.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, and then what was it? This past Thanksgiving,
Yes.
we went to Salem and we were watching
Project Fear.
Project Fear on YouTube.
Yep.
And
And you couldn't stop watching it.
I couldn't. I was
you
addicted.
watched it for hours. It was
I was
great.
literally addicted. Like they were watching at night. I'd watch it until I got too tired, and then I go to sleep. Wake up the next morning, turn it on while we're eating breakfast. I'm just like glued to the TV.
Yeah.
And I don't watch TV like that.
Right.
But
That's
I know
great.
I fucking love ghost hunting. I was actually, believe it or not, I was watching a podcast the other week
Okay.
where they were interviewing one of the YouTube ghost hunters.
Oh, okay.
And it was like it was like an actual interview,
Right.
even though it's a comedy podcast. It was an
Right.
actual interview. And they were talking to him about his experience and everything. And he said something which I found very interesting, which I think Project Fear does very well.
Uh-huh.
And he said, as a ghost hunter, I don't know if I believe in ghosts because 9 times out of 10, there's an answer for what we
Yeah.
find.
That's
Right,
good.
right,
Like,
right.
I'm not into ghosts
Right.
at all
Right.
or ghost hunting or any of that, but that's a good,
That's
that's
a
a
good
more
stance to have
scientific
on it, yeah.
attitude.
Right.
Yeah.
And honestly, that's usually the goal of a lot of these guys is to have scientific backing.
So like
I
explain
don't
it.
believe in
Yeah.
this
Right.
shit. Prove me wrong.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. So, but no, it was very interesting because it was very much an uncensored insider's view
That's cool.
on like the YouTube side of the industry.
Mhm.
I think we all know like the Discovery Channel side of it is all,
Right.
Bluster and
Well, you know,
They,
they
they,
already
still get a lot of evidence. I mean, it's still obviously
nowadays it's more the performance than it is the content.
I was gonna say
Yeah.
it's definitely like when they were doing it because like Discovery Plus really doesn't have many of those shows on anymore. They kind of took them all off. The only one that's still going is Ghost Adventures with Zach and his crew.
Right.
The rest of them kind of all went to YouTube, hence Project Fear.
Right.
They were Destination Fear on Discovery and Discovery Plus. A lot of them went to YouTube. But when they were doing the TV shows on the actual networks, obviously they're getting evidence because you could see it.
Yeah, they still
But
got to do
They still
the
got to
thing.
do what they do. But there was scripting going on, of
Oh,
course. I
yeah.
mean, it's still a TV
You got to
show.
make it
Yeah.
entertaining.
You still got to
Yeah.
make it
And the guy
entertaining,
even said that in the
Yes,
interview.
I'm
He goes,
sure he did,
there are times where I do have to play it up because that's what people are there to see. Is
Right.
see, oh, whoa, whoa, whoa.
Right.
But a lot of the time when he gets stuff, he's like he doesn't get scared, but he's like, whoa.
Yeah.
He said
Well,
he said he only got scared once in his life, and that's what prompted him to
Gotcha.
start ghost hunting.
He's just looking
he
to
was
get scared again.
Yeah, he was a tour guide for one of
Okay.
the prisons.
Right.
And him and his buddy are sitting in one of the cells waiting for the next group to come in.
Okay.
And he hears a shotgun go off, like
Oh,
next to
wow.
his head.
Okay, yeah, wow.
And he's like, what the fuck was that? And like, so he listens back to the audio and everything, and he's like, well, now I gotta keep chasing this high.
Right. Well, me and your mom went ghost hunting at Joliet
remember,
Prison.
yeah.
We went to Joliet Prison, and we actually went with Dave Schrader.
I think
who's a
it was
well-known-
Joliet Prison
Might have been.
that he was one of the tour guides
Is that
at.
right? Okay,
Yeah.
it might be. And we went with Dave Schrader, and he had a group thing, and it was fun. And I'll tell you something. I went there, and as much as I definitely do believe in what I believe in my own way, I am one of those people that's like, well, it may or may not be. I mean, I keep my mind open. And,
Right.
well, what if there is? And who knows, right? But anyway, so we go there, and it was Dave Schrader, Chris Fleming, and Shane Pittman, and all very well known on Discovery
Okay.
Plus and that stuff. They're, if you're into it, you know these guys.
Okay.
And they're like, we needed a volunteer to do an experiment. So I'm like, oh, pick me. I'm like, absolutely, I'd love to. So they had me sit in this chair, and it was in the medical room, I think it was. And they had me like put these things, they were like red and blue goggles on my eyes.
It was
and
the
they had me-
Clockwork Orange eye
Yeah,
clips.
yeah,
And
yeah.
they had
And then
me
they
just-
said, open your mouth.
And no, and so I'm sitting there, and it's like, it's this empty, abandoned prison. And they're like, just tell us if you see anything, if you feel anything or whatever. And they're asking questions and stuff around you. And I'm sitting there rather. And I will tell you, it was freaky because I'm sitting there, and all of a sudden, you know how they always say, you'll know this. They always say like,
gets cold.
if
gets
there's a
cold.
ghost, it's cold, dude. Out of no, and it was August,
Yep.
and it was 90 degrees out.
Yeah.
Okay, it was hot as balls out, and Marianne was complaint. She was like, I'm going outside. It's too hot, blah, 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 blah. She was yelling at me. She loved it, but she was yelling at me. And I'm sitting there, and man, I couldn't explain it. I'm telling you right now, this just cold air just came all above my legs, all over my body.
Oh,
It was just fucking weird,
You're
man.
being felt up by the spirits.
I enjoyed it,
that
but no, it was just really weird. It really was. Do you feel anything? And like you can see my face going like, yeah. I'm like, oh wow, it's all cold. And
I
it's
feel
just
the
like,
AC.
It was just really fun. But that's the thing.
finally
There
put
was
the
no
AC
AC.
on.
There
No,
was
I
no
know.
breeze. There was no anything. It was fucking weird. But yeah, so that's kind of like the shit that I watch on TV. Yeah. And I really do love the alien stuff. And I'm not going to get into the government conspiracy, at least not in this podcast. I'll maybe later down the road.
I got to be honest with you.
But-
Conspiracies are some of my favorite things.
Oh, I love them.
because
I
some
do.
of them are so outlandish.
Some of them
Yeah.
are crazy. Some
It's
of them are
like-
like, yeah, that's possible.
When I
but-
watch them, I'm like, how do I convince myself this is true? This is like,
Nah.
it's such a fun fantasy to live
That's
in. Like,
funny.
I want to be part of this.
That's funny.
The good ones are that's a trap you could easily fall
Yeah.
into. Yeah, because it's just like
See-
that would be so cool. I want
Can't
this to
believe
be
it,
true.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Well, here's my personal conspiracy,
Uh-huh.
and that is, it's like, for all intents and purposes, we're laymen. You know, we're
Right.
just regular guys.
Right.
We don't have fucking doctorates or anything like that.
Right.
The people that are doing the things that we think there's conspiracies about are so good at doing those things quietly, we would never know to conspiracize, if that's even a word,
It is
about
now.
them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I know. what
Like,
you
we
mean,
wouldn't
yeah.
even think to
Right.
think.
You wouldn't even
Right.
figure out what they were doing because it would be so good. They'd be cloaking it while doing it without you
Right,
even knowing.
yeah.
You'd be like, oh man, that happened? Nah.
Yeah, it's like
yeah,
the
no, yeah,
ultimate
that-
form of gaslighting.
Yeah.
It's like, no, we're not doing anything. What are you talking
Right,
about?
Yeah.
right.
Meanwhile, they got like fucking underground
Go for it.
laboratories
What do they got?
and shit.
Tell
Yeah.
us. What do they got?
Well, I'll tell
Oh
you,
man,
you know,
so they got the mole people, they got the lizard people, which don't get it confused.
With the
They are at
reptilians.
war with each other in the mantle of the earth. Okay, which is why volcanoes erupt. Those are their weapons of wars going off during conflict.
this all makes sense to me.
It all makes sense.
It all makes sense to me.
Earthquakes, yeah.
I got to listen to your podcast.
Yeah, you do. It's going to cost you $30 a month to subscribe to my Patreon. It's the only way to access it.
You know what? That because of the content you're giving me right now, that is such a deal. I want 2 subscriptions.
Oh, perfect. I have a platinum tier. You could pay $180, get exactly what you're getting at the $30 tier, but you get a special little picture next to your profile.
I will pay no less than $500 a
Yeah.
month. Thank you very much.
That's like
Done.
$1,000 value. All yours.
Yeah,
for-
it's a fire sale, baby. Get it while it's hot.
Can I do 5 easy payments?
No,
Do you take a firm?
no.
Oh,
It has to be all
man.
upfront in cash,
Do you
mailed to
take-
this address on the screen.
Do you take Diners Club card?
Yes.
Wow, that makes
Damn, I
sense.
got to get one.
Yeah, you do. Speaking of, if you get the Platinum Plus tier, it comes with a free Diners Club card. And all you have
Okay.
to do is
That's the
recharge
one
it.
you want.
So wait a minute,
That's the one you
dude.
want.
Totally game the system.
Yes,
on this.
you can.
Once I get the mortgage, the second mortgage,
Right, right.
What I do is I parlay that. First of all, I hit Vegas.
Right, you got a
Wait,
system.
we'll talk later.
Yeah,
We'll talk later.
No, we got to go. Yeah, we got a
talk- yeah.
system. We'll get that
Yeah.
down.
Any
yes.
plan that starts with first I gotta hit Vegas
Yeah.
is a good plan.
That's a good plan.
Don't get it twisted.
No, that's something you want to do for
Yeah,
sure.
don't get it twisted. That's the perfect plan.
The Mega Millions retirement plan.
Yeah.
Hey, that's my retirement
I
plan
play.
right now.
Yeah.
Me too.
I contribute every week.
Nothing bad can happen with this plan. Nothing bad at
It's
all.
foolproof.
Listen, either
Everything
I hit
is
it
good.
big or I support education, okay?
Yeah, apparently not, though. That's such bullshit.
I know.
Like,
I know,
what?
yeah.
Come on. Yeah.
Every $2 you
Look,
squander.
look, everyone's a
Yeah.
gambling degenerate. You don't need it already. Everyone's sold already. You don't lie to us and say it's going to education. Come on.
Well, yeah, they get like 3 cents per
By
dollar.
the way, I contributed to the education system after I got that text last week.
Yes.
With the smiling child.
yeah, but we already did this bit.
No, but I'm saying I donated.
I did too.
I'm very
I
proud
donated.
of both of you.
First of all,
No,
she
yeah.
didn't. It's a readathon. She never came to my house and read to me.
That's wow.
Did she read to you?
No, I didn't. Nobody came to my door reading to me.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's the story here?
She
Yeah,
read
what's
to
going
me
on?
twice.
That's bullshit. Those were our two
That's
reads.
dude.
So what
Yeah.
I took them.
Yeah.
Oh my
Wow.
I took them.
Reading theft.
Okay.
I get that.
And we got to donate more
It's all the
money.
more imperative we scam him of his own thing with the podcast
Right,
and the
right.
Patreon.
So how about this?
And don't forget the Diners Club card.
No,
I gotta
we-
get the Diners
$500
Club
bucks.
we join his Patreon.
Platinum.
We get the Diners Club card. Then we charge what he did, what we owe him on that Diners Club card,
And then we pay it off.
and then we pay it off. Nice. Fucking this is a foolproof plan. I love it.
Is she close to her? What's
Curse
her
is
like?
foiled again.
Yeah. What's the goal? What's the end goal with this? You gonna get her an Xbox or something?
No, that's a pipe dream.
Yeah.
No, she's gonna teach Dean how to read.
Thank
Yeah.
God.
Yeah, that's the real journey.
Yeah.
Is her teaching me how to read.
That's gonna
Finally.
be. That's gonna make our lives so much easier.
Will.
Let me tell you, being illiterate in the 21st century.
Is
Ain't it?
a blessing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm
What it
sorry,
usually
no, I'm sorry, you're right. It's a blessing, and
less
my
you
life
know.
couldn't be better.
Yes.
God,
I don't know
forbid.
what the red signs mean on the end of the road. I can't
Scratch
read
that.
them.
Scratch that from the record.
Keep it in, make it louder.
Okay.
Turn the gain up when I say I'm illiterate. I'm illiterate.
I'm gonna put reverb on it too.
Hell yeah.
Gain up.
Hold on. I'm going to get one more clean. I'm illiterate.
Gain up.
Done.
Editor's note, make that really fucking loud.
I'm doing all that with the reverb. I'll do all. Put a
Echo.
ring on everything.
Editor's note,
Yeah.
could you put some delay on there?
You're gonna be in a cave, admitting to the cave that you're illiterate.
Editor's note, could you also put the sound that they use when Frodo gets to Mount Doom?
I don't know this. I'll find it.
No,
You know what? I won't. Send it to me.
No.
What does it sound like?
Editor's note, it sounds like this. It's like
Well, I'm just gonna use that.
With an echo. And, yeah.
it's
tell me-
supposed to be like
Tell me real quick.
Uh-huh.
Does that come after, before, or during the I'm illiterate?
editor's note, it comes during
Okay.
and after. It's
Okay.
kind of like a
Starts.
little
I'll put it together.
a little present like
I
throughout the
always
whole
do.
thing.
I'll
Yeah,
put
yeah,
it
yeah.
together.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Editor's note. Also, can you make me look really cool when you put this together?
I'm not a video.
Right,
guy.
there's
only so much I can do.
one can do.
You know, they talk about studio magic.
Yeah,
like,
there's only so much magic to go around.
we need
Yeah.
studio black magic for you, Dean.
Editor's note. Could you
yes, I'm the editor. What do
could
you want?
Could you superimpose Kevin Costner as my best friend?
Yeah, I think I could actually. You know what? I'm gonna have you in a cave with Kevin Costner, admitting that you're illiterate.
Can it be the Waterworld version?
It sure can, buddy.
You're gonna make me cry. I'm so happy right now.
Yeah. There's a catch.
Okay.
On one condition, I'll do this.
What is this?
Free.
I want a free Patreon,
Yeah,
silver
500
tier,
level.
platinum
I'm sorry, the deal's
membership.
off.
Mother.
No, I'm sorry, the deal's off. You are gonna have to mail me back that Diners Club card.
Eric, you almost had him.
It's this close.
But here's the thing. Okay.
I'll tell you what. Wait, Eric, I want to see this happen so bad. I'll give you my platinum subscription to the Patreon.
Oh, Augie.
No,
So
no.
you
thank
could have mine. I just want to see him and Kevin
I have
Costner
a
in
counter.
a cave.
I have a counter offer. Okay. I won't give you a free subscription, but if you upgrade to the uranium subscription, that's only $1,000 a month. Not only do you get everything included in the previous tiers,
You
but,
also get cancer.
but you'll get 2 Diner Club cards, right? So that's one for fun, one for business. And then on top of that, you get 1 day free on the Platinum Plus subscription.
Ooh, free day.
So what say you?
I'm gonna cancel.
Dude, all I'm going to say
Is there a time constraint on this offer? Midnight tonight or?
Yeah, you do need to grab this offer up by the 31st of
Okay.
any month, as long
Look,
as it has 31 days.
That's fine. I'm going to thank you. That was very generous of you. I'm going to take my time. I'm going to really think hard. I'm absolutely gonna fucking do it.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Awesome.
We're in business.
I'm just happy I get to see Kevin Costner and Dean in a cave.
together at last.
Together.
I've been
All right,
waiting
so-
32 years for this.
There we go. And I'll edit all this down to 3 minutes, and I'll make your Kevin
Yep.
Costner cave. bit.
That's just the videos, the Kevin Costner and me in a cave.
That's the podcast.
That's
It's
the
you
podcast.
and
Kevin Costner Cave Fantasy.
there you go. Costner cast.
See, we're learning as we go. We know what the people want to see.
We do.
Get
So,
right to the heart
All
of
right.
it.
yeah, I guess you know what? And we'll have that for you all a little later and maybe episode 3.
Episode 3 is going to start off like an episode of Law and Order.
Right.
It's just going to be cold open, me walking down the street. I turn down an alleyway. All of a sudden, I'm in a cave.
And here's Kevin Costner.
It's Kevin Costner.
Kevin Costner's waving at me, but it's the Waterworld version, so he's got fins.
You and Kevin Costner will be riding jet skis into the sunset. Don't worry about
I
it.
couldn't ask for more.
Arthur,
Alright,
what do you
so-
got to say for yourself?
Any closing
what's
statements?
your sign off, Arthur?
I'm still trying to figure out the whole Dean and Kevin Costner
We've moved past
romantic
that.
element.
Not much to figure out.
Not much. I think it's a
pretty right out
wonderful
there,
thing.
yeah.
We're,
No,
we're
it's
man,
beautiful.
we're
It's
man and
beautiful.
manfish in love.
And that's beautiful. It really is. Did we have a show coming up? Did we have a show?
We do. Oh, actually, you know what?
Is it, well, hold on. Is this going to come out in time to advertise?
I don't
Oh,
think
yeah.
it will. I don't
Okay.
think it
Yeah.
will.
We don't have
so.
any shows.
We've never played live ever and never will. Fuck you.
The last one went very well.
It did.
It did.
We got a really good reaction at the last show.
We
Connolly.
sold some merch.
Yeah.
Sold some vinyls and
Met some
made some new
people.
friends
Yeah,
that were there
totally.
as part of like a radio broadcasting convention.
Yeah, it was a conference.
Yeah.
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 And
The
they
IBS conference.
they did send me a link to their. I'm ignoring that. They did.
No, that's
send
what
me-
it was
That's what it
called.
was.
Is that really?
Oh, really?
That was
wow.
the actual name.
Oh, wow.
Even the girl we were talking to, she's like, "We're part of the IBS conference."
And
I
she's
know
like,
it's an
yeah.
unfortunate
Oh,
name.
that's crazy. I thought you were just
I
Yeah,
thought
no,
you were
no, I wasn't
No,
being
Oh, that's
funny.
real.
funny. But they sent me a link to the radio station. They did tell us, try to tune in on Friday between, I think it was 9 and 10. They're going to try to play a song. Or
Oh,
a
very
song
cool.
off the EP.
Hell
so,
yeah.
Listen, I'm going to sign off my own way. If anybody likes what they hear,
Fuck
keep coming
you.
back. Thank you. What? Yeah, nice. That's how you keep friends. And if you like what you see,
We have a website.
we have a website. It's backfromzeroNYC.com. Take a look, listen to some music, and if you really want to show some love and you like what you see in here, please pick up something. It helps us out. Every little step counts. Thank you very much for watching. We'll see you next time.
Gavel us out.
I'm illiterate.